So we are currently around the NBA midway point, and it has gone super fast. I feel like it was just opening night yesterday with the Pelicans versus Raptors, and the Raptors came out on top, and the Lakers versus Clippers, and the Clippers ended up winning. But let's talk about what this video is actually about. I'm gonna be handing out my NBA midseason awards. Make sure to stay tuned. Hey, what's up YouTube? It's Story of Sam back at again with a brand new NBA video. If you love the NBA just like I do, make sure to smash that subscribe button to stay up to date with all the NBA trades and important information regarding the league. Make sure to drop a like because it goes so far with how this video gets recommended to new viewers. Without further ado, let's get right into it. I'm giving out every NBA award today, from most valuable player to coach of the year. It was extremely hard to make these decisions. There's tons of talent in this league right now and so many great players, and they're all really deserving, but I had to narrow it down to just one for each award. In the comment section down below, tell me if you agree or disagree with any of my opinions in the comments. The first award we're handing out today is Rookie of the Year, and that goes to Ja Morant. He has been spectacular all season. He is putting the Memphis Grizzlies on the map. He has a lot of playground types to him. He plays like a guy at the park. He's very flashy, he can dunk on people, great athleticism, can score, pass, he can do it all, and nobody expected the Grizzlies to be in the A seed in the West, and that is all due to Ja Morant and some help from Jaren Jackson Jr. And there's not much competition for the Rookie of the Year. It seems like Ja is going to wrap it up with ease. He is averaging like 18 points a game. There has been an argument for Zion, and Zion is supposed to come back tonight, and I'm super excited to finally watch Zion Williamson play. After all the wait, it's finally great to see what he actually can bring to the table, but I think it's just a little bit too late for Zion. He's coming in too late. Ja's already established himself for the first half of this season. No matter what Zion does, unless he puts up like insane numbers way better than Ja, I think there's no way that Ja Morant does not win the Rookie of the Year award, and that's why he's getting the first award of the day. Moving on to our next award, we're handing out the MVP award. This one is super tight, guys. This is a super hard decision. It came down to James Harden and Giannis Antetokounmpo, but I ended up giving it to Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis is averaging 30 points, 13 rebounds, and 5 assists on great field goal percentage, and he is a much improved three-point shooter. When he played the Lakers, they beat them by a pretty good margin, and he went 5 of 7 from downtown. He is proving that if you leave him wide open, he's gonna make you pay. And also with driving into the paint, he is averaging well above 50% from the field. The one thing he does need to work on though is his free throw shooting, but overall, Giannis is a monster of a player and he won the MVP award last year. I know that Harden is averaging 38 points or something ridiculous like that, but the Bucks have the best record in the whole NBA, and that is the most important thing. Nobody thought the Bucks would have the best record in the NBA. They are winning a crazy amount of games. I think they're like 38-6, something like that. It's just absurd, and more importantly, it's all carried by Giannis. He's the heart and soul of the team. I can almost guarantee you he wins this award, because there's actually been a formula for the MVP award in recent history. So basically the qualifications are, you need to have a top 5 record in the NBA, or just like around like a good record in the NBA, because winning is important. At the end of the day, you're trying to win basketball games, and if you're not winning, you could be putting up the best numbers ever like Trae Young, but not even get consideration for this award no matter how good you play. Another thing is, you only want to have one dominant star. Giannis plays with Chris Middleton, but Chris Middleton isn't really on his level at all. Giannis is the one dominant star on that team. But for the Rockets, and why I think James Harden can't win it, he's playing alongside Russell Westbrook, a former MVP himself, and that is going to take away from his numbers. I know it hasn't shown it, but Giannis is winning more with a less talented team, and that's why I think Giannis will win it. Another example of his formula for the MVP award, look at when Russell Westbrook won the MVP. It was the first year when KD left. Russell Westbrook was the sole star. He averaged a triple-double, made history, all that stuff made him almost the unanimous MVP. And other players like LeBron has AD, Luka has Porzingis. Even though Porzingis has been a little bit disappointing this season, it's still a second star that I consider a little bit better than Chris Middleton, and I would consider him a duo with Luka. And Giannis is a primarily one-man team, and he's winning with the Milwaukee Bucks, who outside of Chris Middleton don't have that many good players. They just have a lot of spot-up shooters, and when Giannis drives to the hoop, they dish out, and they shoot a really good percentage from 3. They run in transition a lot, the most in the whole NBA. That's why I know Giannis will and should win the MVP award. Moving on to the Defensive Player of the Year, this one goes to Anthony Davis. He is averaging 2.6 blocks per game. He is an amazing on-ball defender. He just takes people out of the game, and he's actually an underrated perimeter defender. I've seen him pick up guys like smaller guards, and he's able to hang with them. He's able to put up a good contest, and he said at the beginning of the season that to win Defensive Player of the Year was his personal goal, and he is showing it. The only way, in my mind, he cannot win the Defensive Player of the Year if he gets hurt a large portion of the season, and he's not played enough games to basically qualify for the award, technically. The only other competition I see is Rudy Gobert, who has won it in previous years, but he's only averaging 1.9 blocks a game, which is 0.7 less than Davis's. so I don't think he has any crazy competition. Davis can test everything on the defensive end. He rarely takes a play off, and all this leads to Anthony Davis winning the Defensive Player of the Year, his goal for the season. Moving on to Most Improved Player, I've made a bunch of videos on my channel talking about Most Improved Player. I've made probably like 4 or 5 of them, and they give you guys a good perspective on how these guys are progressing. But out of all those players, I think that Devontae Graham is going to win the Most Improved Player. From being an unknown player last year on a 2-way contract, swinging back and forth between the G League and the NBA, to a walking bucket, draining deep threes in the NBA, and I'd argue that he's the leader of the Hornets. He is better than Terry Rozier, and not enough people know about this guy. Devontae Graham is a machine. The reason it doesn't get enough press is because Charlotte is a super small market, and that is definitely why. Pascal Siakam was my previous frontrunner. I thought he could win back-to-back, but he missed too much time due to injury, and I think that ruined his chances to win it thus far. But Devontae definitely deserves it. He shoots over 40% from 3. He shoots a lot of threes. He's always putting up crazy points amounts, and he can definitely pass the ball as well. He has had a lot of 10+ assist games, and he's a great passer. And he's hit a lot of clutch shots, making him a great player in this league despite being irrelevant last year. And that's why I see him being the Most Improved Player. It's such a big jump from a guy that wasn't even in the NBA the whole season last year to now a guy that is like averaging 20 a game or around 20 a game on great 3-point percentage. And that's why he has to be Most Improved Player. Next, I'm talking about the 6th Man of the Year award, and I'm sure it is not a surprise. It goes to Lou Williams. He is technically a bench player, but the Clippers just like his spark off the bench. I think this will be his 4th 6th Man award. This dude literally named his kid 6. He spelled the S-Y-X though. I still don't know why he did that. Lou can create his own offense, and KD ranked him as a top 5 hardest player in the NBA to guard. Again, on another team, this man starts. Any other team in the league, 29 franchises other than the Clippers, he is going to start. He's just one of those players that they want to keep off the bench because they put him and Trez in the game at the same time, and it's like another dynamic duo off the bench, and they can work really well together. He can literally do everything. He's a great scorer. He puts up multiple 30-point games, playing alongside Montrezl Harrell, who plays really well with him, Kawhi Leonard, and Paul George. He still gets his every single night, and a much improved defender, I will add. Lou Williams does it all, and he's been pretty efficient this season. He's a great free throw shooter. Overall, just a great player, and he seems to be getting better with age, which is kind of crazy to me. That is why he's going to win his fourth 6th Man of the Year award in this 2020 season. Last but certainly not least, we have the Coach of the Year award. This was the tightest race I've had to decide. Nick Nurse, the championship coach of the Toronto Raptors, who helped lead Kawhi Leonard, Fred VanVleet, Pascal Siakam to beat the Warriors in the 2019 finals, or Mike Budenholzer, the coach of the Milwaukee Bucks, who led the Bucks to a great record last season, and the Bucks have the best record in the NBA this season. Nick Nurse this season has led his team despite losing Kawhi, and I give him all the credit in the world, especially for the culture they built in Toronto. Toronto is a culture of a strong, tough, physical team that is going to play defense every possession, and if you want to win in Toronto, you are going to have to be super focused and know what you're doing. And Mike Budenholzer's Bucks, as I said, have the best record in the league. He puts trust in Giannis, and he's developed his shot a lot, but I do have to give it to Nick Nurse. If you put Nick Nurse as the coach in the Bucks, in my personal opinion, they would do better. Feel free to debate in the comment section. That's my take on it. I'm not changing it. I'm not saying Budenholzer is bad by any stretch of the imagination. I definitely think he's a great coach. I'm pretty sure he won Coach of the Year last year, if I'm not mistaken. He is a great coach. It's come down to these two. I just had to give it to one of them, and I think that Nick Nurse, what he's been able to do when Kawhi's left, I think they have a very similar record to last year when they had Kawhi in the regular season, so that's why I gotta give it to Nick Nurse. He has built this team up a lot, and Fred VanVleet is really stepping up this season. Another great player, Pascal Siakam, he just came back from injury, but all in all, Nick Nurse is a great coach. And just like that, guys, I've given out all of the awards. It was super fun to make, and I hope it was fun to watch. A lot of these were close calls, and I want to say thank you in advance for keeping an open mind to all my takes. As I said before, drop a comment down below what you would do differently, and I will respond to you. Anyways, guys, this is gonna wrap up today's video, but don't go anywhere. If you enjoyed, make sure to smash the subscribe button for NBA content just like this twice a week. Don't forget to drop a like on the video so YouTube can recommend this video to more people. If you want to watch more of my content, I'm leaving an end screen at the end of this video to one of my personal favorite videos that I've ever published on this channel. It is ranking the top 10 players of the decade. It came out fantastic. Make sure to give it a watch. I hope you have a great rest of your day. It's been Story of Sam, and I'm out.